How's it going, everybody? So the timing of this is a little different than usual. The new season starts today and only now I'm releasing the undocumented changes. There were so many small patches the second half of the season that a lot of stuff that got introduced by accident also got removed or fixed rather quickly. But we still have a few things that stuck that we can take a look at today. A lot of these you've probably already experienced yourself and seen plenty of times. Some are also blatantly obvious, but it never hurts to list them anyways. One of these are Jiang Jun's light animations. Most have realized this straight away when it was patched in. The character always suffered from janky light animations, and ever since his initial launch when the speed of the attacks was first adjusted. The other problem was that there were discrepancies in out of lock and in lock animations. This isn't something particularly rare. For example, Raider also had old animations on his out of lock lights. That has been adjusted now, and despite being quite a big change, not just for the character but also in terms of work involved to fix these and introduce new animations, this hasn't been mentioned in any of the patch notes. They look much better now and are consistent for the most part. Left light combo still has some jank to it, most notably when delaying the combo light. Other than that, it's pretty smooth. I talked about this in my animation quality video as well, expecting that some heroes will receive a similar treatment in the near future. But that's just me speculating, especially since Jiang Jun animation changes were unexpected, yet a welcome surprise. What wasn't a welcome surprise for Jiang Jun is how his choke works now. Previously, when he used that special parry counter, he would drain stamina, and the slap would only knock down if you were in out of stamina state from the initial chokehold. Now that slap also drains stamina, and if that slap puts you out of stamina, you will also land on the floor. This gives the old man quite a bit of stamina pressure. A single zone option select parried is enough to get quite a bit of damage in. Next is a change to Lawbringer. To be precise, a change to his long arm. The guaranteed side heavy now hits the wake up armor, which makes it unsafe. Long arm is mostly used in ganking situations, so the follow-up heavy from your teammate will make it safe again, but in any 1v1 fight, it opens you up for punishment. The guard break can be stuffed with a shove, but the true problem is that the opponent can throw a light, which you can't do anything about. You cannot even block, let alone parry. Next, a Centurion change. His out of lock light finisher used to count as a heavy. This has now been corrected and finally counts as a light. So if you parry that top light, you get the correct punish now. Next, PK emote tech has been fixed. You used to be able to use the best and unimpressed to mask attacks, as well as GB animations. I've explained this and have clips in my Max Punish video for PK, which I honestly don't know how up to date it still is. But nevertheless, indicators were never shortened, but animations were clearly masked with it. If used together with effects, it was even worse, but those you can disable in the options after all. Next are some quite significant buffs to feats. Thick Skin and Flesh Wound. It's the tier 2 feat that gives you damage reduction on consecutive attacks. Thick Skin is on PK, Shaolin and Zhonhu. It gives you 25% reduction for 3 seconds and then is on a 5 seconds cooldown. Flesh Wound is on Warlord, Shaman and Warmonger. The one only gives you 20% reduction, yet has the same 3 second and then 5 second cooldown. What changed for both of them is how they are triggered. It used to only trigger on successfully landed attacks. Now it triggers on guard breaks, counter guard breaks, bashes, as well as feats, even if those don't do damage, but you need a hit reaction. While some of these characters clearly have better options on their tier 2 slots, the buffs at least elevate those two feats to a status of not being completely useless. Peacekeeper might actually run it as her first choice now. Reducing guard break punishes, bash punishes, etc. is quite useful. Because previously, even if the feat was triggered, you'd be in second hit stun or other scenarios where bigger damage reduction values would have overwritten the feat anyways. Next, a weird Nusha interaction. She's one of the few heroes that can zone in the middle of a chain. This got bugged with the lights. If you want to use your zone after a light, then you need to whiff it, both on hit as well as normal block. You cannot chain into the zone attack. It will simply throw another light. Then the Vengeful Barrier change I've already covered in depth in a separate video, but I just wanted to quickly mention it again as it invalidates some of the nerfs to some shield feats. The Revenge Shield buff can now be triggered by it, and duration is increased to the full 15 seconds of the Vengeful Shield. Then some Highlander changes. Exiting sound from offensive stance has been removed. Also, I've been told I'm really bad with sounds as I don't pay much attention to them in general. The sound also gets stuck when you die while in offensive stance. And now for some damage inconsistencies. We've had these plenty in the past. Sometimes an attack retains its old values, and sometimes even properties when used out of log, out of stamina, or even both at the same time. Lots of them were introduced and patched back out again with all the damage shifts that came with the core combat update. The currently still known ones are Warden's out of stamina top light, which is still 15 instead of 12. Then Conqueror's unlocked side heavy, which is 24 instead of 22. And Conqueror's unlocked lights and unlocked out of stamina lights. That's 13 and 12. And then Lawbringer's unlocked out of stamina light, which is 15 instead of 12. And the last thing that I want to mention is an inconsistency on Blackbriar's Bulwark counter. Feats are supposed to work through the flip, like Haymaker and Shield Basher still do damage despite the move being flipped. This is not the case for Corruption Blade. The weapon coating just gets absorbed by the flip. The feat goes on cooldown and the BP is not corrupted. So that about sums it up with the major undocumented changes this season. Depending on when you watch it, the servers might be down right now to get the update for the new season. And as usual, that will bring another series of changes, some in the patch notes, some not. If you so happen to find some, feel free to share them. We'll obviously also be looking actively and post them on my Discord. A link to it is in the video description, so drop by if you want. Let's hope for a good new season now with some surprises. I'm sure they have something in store for us. For now, I hope the video was helpful. Thanks for watching. Later, everybody.